Okay, so we are doing a canning little class here. So first I filled the water with just regular tap water to the fill line. You'll see it on your canner. Then I cleaned out my quart jars. After cleaning them out, filled them with just regular tap water halfway. Put all 5 of them in the canner. For quarts, you can fit 5. I think for pints in this specific canner, you can fit like 7 to 8 of them. Then you turn on to pressure canning. You add your minutes. So for mine, I am doing 90 minutes for my size meat. So I set it at 90 and then I press start. It says insert jars, which I already did that. Now I'm getting ready to put the lid on and move on to the next step. There. This goes in here. Snap. Take this off, just pull straight up. And then I hit this button again. Now it starts warming up my jars for me. I did go ahead and dice up the meat already. So I have 10 pounds of chicken breast here. As soon as it tells me from warm to fill jars, it'll light up in about 10 minutes or so that it's warmed the jars. Then I can start the process and I'll bring you back on. So it has been about 10 minutes or so, and it beeped twice to tell me that I can now fill my jars. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Take the lid off. Now my jars are hot and steamy. So I'm going to take one of them here and just pour the hot water out. Set it down, start filling it. They recommend this, that way you don't get any meat on the rim of the jar here. That way it stays nice and clean. So I've got half frozen chunks of chicken. This is called raw packing because I didn't cook it beforehand. Meanwhile, my other jars are staying heated in here, which is nice. So just filling this. With chicken. I actually forgot to put a little bit of salt in here, so I will do that after I fill it up. You can add it before or after, it doesn't really matter. So they recommend that you fill it to about right here. So I'm going to crunch this down as much as possible to fit some more pieces in here. Okay. Can fit some right in there. So I'll put a few more pieces in there. Use my little handy guy here. Fit some more in there. Let's see now. That's about good. Now, actually, let me throw a few more in there without touching the rim. Okay. Now I will add my canning salt. I use about 2 halves for this size. So a little bit there. Sorry, I'm trying to look at what I'm doing and the camera at the same time. Now I've got that in there. Now I can add my steamy, boiling hot water. This is filtered, so it is not from the tap. Just pour a little bit.
Are we going to the skate park?
Pour a little bit on the top there. Now I'm going to work out with the tool that they gave me all of the water bubbles. So you just work it all the way around, trying to push all the chicken down. Okay, see how you don't have any water right here? Just push that down. That's what it looks like up here. Okay, I'm gonna add just a tad bit more water. They say 1 inch headspace. I do it just a splash over, like that there. Now you take a paper towel and some vinegar. I just turn it over, put some on there, wipe the rim really good in case I did get any chicken on there. And then I also do the same to my lid, just to clean that off extra good. Put the lid on. Screw one of these guys on. A little tight. So I'm going to actually hold that there for just a minute. Good tight. And that is my jar there. Now I'm going to put this back in the hot water. And grab my second jar out. And repeat this whole process until all 5 of them are full of chicken. Once they're full, because I am using quart jars, it's 90 minutes on the timer. If I was doing pints, it would be 75 minutes on the timer. You'll find all of your recipes online. And each meat has a different way of processing it before you put it in jars. Some meats, you don't add any liquid. The juice in the meat itself will give it its own liquid. Some you add hot boiling water. And then for other things like seafood, they ask you to add like half vinegar, a ton of canning salt, and water. So for every recipe, it's different as far as what goes in with your meat. But I found about 10 pounds of chicken for 5 quarts, which is about 2.5 pounds a quart. And for pints, it would be less, of course. But again, after I get all of these 5 jars in, I will jump back on just to show you the rest of this process. So I now have all 5 of these filled. I was like probably 4 chunks short, so I had to go in and thaw just a little bit of extra chicken, but not too much overall. Now that the jars are full, all I have to do is press the start, and it starts the canning process. In about 15 minutes, it'll start beeping, and it'll tell me to, I don't know if you can see it there, it says put regulator on. This will start flashing, and it will not go on to the canning process until I come back out in 15 minutes or whenever this lights up. And all you have to do is you just move out of the way of the steam, but you just push it straight on, and then you'll hit the start button again, and then it'll start canning my 90 minutes after that. So that is the next step, is that'll start beeping for me to put that on. Then once I hit start, it'll do the 90 minutes of canning. After the 90 minutes, it actually will do its own cooling process where it'll cool down for an hour before it will this will even release to let me know that I can open the canner. After that point, the cans will be cool. I will use this little guy again to get them out, and I will just set them on the towel overnight. That way, they say that you should leave them alone, let them seal overnight without moving them around. The next morning, I would then unseal the lids, as you can see I've done here. I did wash these with soap and water the next morning because they were a little greasy. from the chicken juice or whatever from the canning process. And then you would take and just label what it is that you have. And that is it.